Hey everybody, Motorport 59 here. It is December 7th, 2022, 81 years since the bombing of Pearl Harbor dragged America into World War II. That was easily one of the pivotal moments in world history. Sometimes people tend to think of, when you talk about world history, they think of Romans and Greeks and Egypt, the ancient history, but that's not true. History is a lot closer to us than that. It was December 7th was the beginning of the end of the Japanese Empire's conquest of the Pacific and of Hitler's conquest of Europe. It was the beginning of the end of the Axis powers, which were Germany, Italy, and Japan. It was the beginning of the end of all that. Adolf Hitler was not happy that America came into the war. He didn't see himself as having a beef with America. I don't know how he figured that, but who knows how Hitler figured anything. But he wasn't happy about that, and neither were a lot of the top brass in Japan, in the Japanese military. But be that as it may, we were attacked. I am a huge supporter of our military, and I always have been. I did not serve, as I've said before, and that makes me, I think, even have a greater appreciation of those who have served. Those are the people who sacrificed, in some cases, everything so I could live the life I chose to live here in the United States, and I will never ever forget that. And it's such a sad thing that so many people have forgotten that today. They have forgotten what freedom really means and what the price for freedom is. And that is really sad. And they're not being taught that in schools anymore. They're not being taught about sacrifice. And I'm not saying that when I was in school that we did a lot of that we did deep dive studies into World War II, because we didn't, but we did learn about it, and we did learn about sacrifice. We understood that. Today, sacrifice to some of these younger kids today is their video game console not working or whatever, not being able to watch YouTube or something. It's ridiculous what the modern younger generations think sacrifice is, and that is the fault of the left, because that's what they want them to think sacrifice is. They don't want them to understand how much freedom costs. They want them to think that freedom is something that the government bestows upon people, and that is simply not the case. When I hear these Democrats compare January 6th to December 7th, 1941, it literally turns my stomach. It makes me feel ill. I do not like to use the word hate, because it's a very powerful and strong emotion. But when I hear someone say that, I hate that person. I hate that person because they're either stupid, because there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity. Ignorance is not knowing. Stupidity is knowing and saying it anyway. And these Democrat leaders, Nancy Pelosi, any of them, Biden, anyone. I will say that I've never heard Joe Biden make that comparison, but I have heard Nancy Pelosi and other Democrat elected representatives who are old enough to truly understand what December 7th was all about, how that affected the entire world, not just America, but it did make a huge difference in America's place in the world, which is something that, beginning with the Obama administration, the Democrats have been steadily trying to erase. They have been apologists, American apologists. They are washing over American exceptionalism, and it's a disgusting, absolutely disgusting a trend of the modern Democrat Party, and it cheapens what our servicemen went through. It cheapens what our nation went through during World War II. after December 7th pulled us into that, the losses that our country suffered in not only in the servicemen who fought and died and were wounded and suffered what we now know as PTSD. It was horrible. It was a huge sacrifice from these people, and to just wash over that for the sake of political gain, to try to gain the confidence of these young people, it is one of their I always say that the Democrats' only tool is fear, and that is what they're doing. They want the younger generation to fear those who have made this sacrifice. That's what they want them to fear. They want them to fear the freedom that they have. They want them to fear how that freedom came to be. That way they can inject their sense of morality around the world, morality in America. I'm not sure how to even put that. And they can instill that fear into this younger generation who have no idea about December 7th. Many of them have no memory of 9/11 other than being told about it by their parents. But I don't know. Back to December 7th. This is a very December 7th, and I didn't do anything on D-Day this year. I was overwhelmed with many other things going on in my life at the time. Not to mention, I believe I was preparing for a vacation. But, and there again, a vacation. I have the freedom to go and get in my car or on my motorcycle or on a plane or whatever and take a vacation. I don't have to ask anyone if I can do it. I don't have to get permission from the government to cross from California into Nevada or Arizona or whatever. I don't have to do that. That is part of the freedom that we as Americans get to experience that many people in the world don't get to experience. And it just kills me when I hear the Democrats play it down. Or just play it down. They don't even mention this stuff half the time because they don't want this generation to understand that. Because once this generation does understand that, if they ever come to understand that, then the Democrats begin to lose power. They begin to lose their edge because they have nothing to do with this. They have nothing to do with American exceptionalism. They have nothing to do with the fact that once America got in that war, the war changed quickly. And who knows how long things would have dragged on in the Pacific and in Europe had we not been dragged into it on December 7th, 1941. What's your opinion on this? What do you think about that? Are you a believer in American exceptionalism as I am? Are you one of these people who I almost get choked up when I think about all the sacrifices they've made? I have a video that I'll put a link to in the description below where I did a little tour of the Bakersfield National Cemetery outside of town here. And I feel very strongly about it. Do you? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motopoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. And we'll see you all later.